Okay, perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday team huddle. And today is going to be a special day because we have a special guest, Coach Ayin, who is going to be sharing her story, her journey. I first met Coach Ayin sa Monday Mission live series ko last year. And it has been a pleasure. And I really enjoyed listening to her story, listening to her journey as well. It was very inspiring. And I loved her energy as well. That's why I thought it would be nice to have her in our team huddle and for all of you to hear her story firsthand. And
Mhm.
hopefully, we can learn a lot from her as well, especially that she is doing her business based in the Philippines. I know there are other rules, I think, or things that are done slightly differently sa Philippines when it comes to our online business. So it would really, really be helpful, especially we have a few in our team as well who are running their business from the Philippines. So without
Mhm.
further ado, let me introduce Coach Nagin. And the floor is yours, Coach. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, good morning there in UK, and good evening from my side. It's nice to see everyone here. Thank you for being here and taking time to join us today. Thank you then, Jane, for inviting me. It's really a great opportunity for me to speak because I'm not into public speaking, promise. But sabi ko, I'll take this invite as a parang room for growth. Kumbaga. And then, so there, I hope everyone can see my short Canva presentation. So let me just quickly introduce myself. I'm Ayin. I'm based here in the Philippines. I'm married. I am a whole homeschooling mom to my 8-year-old daughter, and then I also have a fur daughter. I have an 8-year-old, 8-month-old golden retriever, and we are a small family of three. We love traveling. We love going to the beach. And then this is my seventh year in the business, and I'm already 5 years as a coach. So I was a working professional before being a stay-at-home homeschooling mom. I worked in various industries. So I worked in shipping. I worked in planning and research. I also worked in finance in a multinational investment bank. And I was also connected to a consulting firm here in the Philippines doing business analysis and project management. So after a few years, I got after a few years I got married. Nagresign din ako from my work because I became very stressed and I was concerned if I can we wanted to start a family. So long story short, I resigned and then got pregnant and never returned to the corporate world again after I gave birth. So why did my husband and I decided to be for me to be a stay-at-home mom? Kasi when we were both single, my mom and his mom both had they both passed away due to cancer. So maybe parang 2 years lang apart when they passed away when we were still single back then. And both of us are in the bank were in the banking industry back then. And then there were instances wherein I had to choose between my work and caring for my ailing mom. So it wasn't a good experience. And long story short, I quit my job the day I returned from my bereavement leave. So that's how stressful, how guilty I was when my mom passed away, and then I couldn't I wasn't able to take care of her properly. I wasn't able um to spend more time with her. So, and I didn't want to happen to my family again. That's why here I am, stay at home mom. And then when my daughter is turning 2 years old, I was starting to get depressed. I was feeling um not I was feeling I needed that feeling of purpose of doing something other than motherhood. So I looked for income opportunities, like for example, online business, online work from home jobs. But I told myself it's not for me since I might not be able be able to take care of my daughter, focus on my daughter. So good thing we found the business in 2019. So it's actually a gift for myself to start this business when my birthday, and then my daughter was turning 2 years old. So my goal actually in this business was just to help my husband pay for some utility bills, like for example, electricity, around 5 to 10,000 pesos per month. And upon seeing and realizing the potential of the business, the goal became hashtag Road to Sugar Mama. So if you can see, if I post in the dream team, there's always a hashtag because that's my hashtag, my goal, that I get to retire my husband from work through this business. And another business goal for me is to buy ourselves a simple retirement home where there's a garden because my husband is a plantito. So I think everyone is Filipino here. So he's a plantito. So that's what one of my goals in the business. So let me share it with you, my business timeline. So I hope I can get through this quickly. So 2019, October 2019, I started the business only 11 days after I became a buyer. So, and right there and then, I encountered my first setback in my first 3 weeks in the business because I inadvertently skipped the likes campaign. So if you're here for the longest time already, you would know there was a likes campaign, message campaign, and then what's next after message campaign? Lead campaign, and then conversion ad, right? So we already launched the business. We are already posting about the business on our pages. So upon realizing this, I had to delete all those posts again and start from likes campaign. Because in likes campaign before, you still can't mention about the business. So it's like it's to warm up the page and get the page seasoned, right? So all right. So after that, that's okay. After that, things seemed a little bit smoother in late 2019 to 2000. And in December 2019, we got our first buyer 2 months after starting the business. So another milestone that we had in the business, after 3 months of starting in the business in January 2020, our first business partner came in. It's actually from the warm market. I didn't offer the business. She just messaged me, asked about the business, maybe about she was curious about the postings, right? And then thankfully 2020 was the first half of the 2020 was very good. In July 2020, we achieved the 3A milestone. Okay. There are still setbacks that year because I was finding my footing as a new business owner. And I'm sure many of you could relate, I struggled with content creation. So it really took time for me to create content, and I'm sure a lot of you experience this, but now there are a lot of tools already in content creation. And then what I did, I just stayed true to my brand, know that get to know who I really am, know my demographics, know my interests, know my hobbies. And after that, it was easier for me to know what posts would be more effective for me. Okay. So I'm a really organized person. So what I did for my posting, let's say for Monday, I put it motivation Monday. Tuesday, life and business, about and business. On Wednesday, like midweek fun, and then Thursday about the business. So I'm structured like that. So it really helps that you find ways where you can execute more in the shortest span of time so that you can do more things aside from your business. Okay, and aside from that, I experienced multiple ad rejections as well. Okay, so towards the end of 2020, our major challenge came. So in November 2020, our business manager got hacked. So I added my husband, his personal profile as a business manager admin. So, and then someone from Bulgaria used our ad account to advertise. So I was getting panicked. There was ad spent already. So there were charges in my credit card. So long story short, our business manager and my husband's profile didn't have two-factor authentication. So I didn't know that you both have to set up the two-factor authentication in the business manager and in all the admin profile that you will be adding. So as a result, between December 2020 and March 2021, our ad account got restricted 4 times. So it was an on and off ad to almost none for almost 4 months because we've been too dependent on Facebook. That time there's no, I think, I'm not sure if there's already YouTube or Google training yet, but I was too dependent on Facebook. So the good thing is that it so happened that we're already about to achieve our 4A milestone that time. So in January 2020, we achieved our 4A. All of my direct sales are from me. So all direct sales, no indirect sales yet. So I was my own eagle until 4A. So and in 2021, I committed to help more the team because our team was already getting bigger. And despite the multiple restrictions that time, I really kept myself productive. I kept my business moving. And I really used that time to warm up our Facebook page again, to learn YouTube, to learn Google. I ran ads in Google and also focused on applying on training and applying as a coach. So thankfully in March 2021 I became a coach and uh some more setbacks during that time between
Babe, balis na ako ah.
okay. So after between April and May 2020, my ad account got restricted again. Good thing our YouTube was already up and I was already running YouTube ads when my Facebook got restricted and it got reinstated again. Okay. So in March 2022, we got our 5A milestone 1 year and 2 months after we became 4A. And then after the 5A milestone, everything was so slow. So I'm sure some of you here waiting for your milestone would also feel that way because almost 2 years in the business, I was waiting for my 6A milestone. So it was a test of patience, test of perseverance. And apart from that, it's really a mental battle here in our business. There are ups and downs of emotions. And back then, what really weighed on is that not just the business, but we were also dealing with personal trials back then. So I got pregnant. I had my miscarriage in June 2023. I paused because of course I was pregnant. It was a very difficult first trimester. I kept going and still consistent in posting and supporting my team. But when I had my miscarriage, I had to rest for 2 months. But thank God, so we are very blessed to have this business because this business allowed me to grieve and come back when I was already emotionally ready. And it was a very different experience when my mom was battling cancer. So I really appreciated the business and that's why I really love the business. Apart from that, we were also scammed by our contractor because we had our house fully renovated. It was a legal battle and I was already feeling depressed that time. I get fed up in posting in social media and I'm sure you also would relate to that. There would be some fatigue when you open your page. Oh, I'm posting again. So it's a normal feeling, right? And that time I also thought of maybe I should go back to employment because the business that time is not giving me the income and result that I expected. In short, I was expecting too much from the business despite um not being able to focus on it because of course life happened, no? So but still then I stayed anchored with my whys and recognized that the small yet consistent movement in our business. So come this part of our journey, it was around May to August 2024. Just few sales away from 6A, we started homeschooling, and back when I was already determined to reach our 6A, there was a back-to-back rejections of our winning conversion ad. So it was a very difficult time, but thankfully, we persisted, and in 2024, it took us 7 years, exactly 7 years and 5 months to become 6A from 5A. So that was a long stretch. So I think we claimed our 6A with 126 points. And really here, a lot of our business partners, of my business partners, are from the Filipinos and from the Philippines, and you would see the trend in Filipinos' capacity to invest here in the Philippines because a lot of our business partners here are only investing in one product, usually Ukon Sigma. So that really took a toll on our business. So that's my 6A journey. It took 5 years from the start, from 2029. Um, Long, but I'm very proud and happy because of our business journey. We have a lot of um, learnings despite the challenges. We persisted, and there should be nothing stopping us from moving forward. As you can see, these are just the major trials in the business. There are still a lot, some frustrations here and there. There will always be challenges because I always remind myself, if there are challenges, it means that we are moving, right? We are trying. So if there are no challenges, it means that we are not moving forward. We are not doing anything, or worse, maybe you already quit your business. So for me, those setbacks are actually steps forward in disguise. There. So just some quick mindset shifts that help me progress in the business. First, fear and doubt in the beginning. So maybe quick question on your on everyone here. Maybe have you felt that, like you don't want to do like you want to do something but you're worried about what others may think, especially for those newbies, because when I started the business I was really shy about the business. So I didn't even post anything about the business in my personal page. Why? Because I was afraid of other people's judgment. May baka sabihin nila, "Oy, ano na nangyari kay Ayin? Bakit ganun na? Yun na lang yung ginagawa." So, many of us would feel that way. And what I realized, one reason why we are shy in the business is that we are still doubting the business. Because if we really know that the business is legit, and that it can bring blessings to other people, and you can help other people through this business, we should be proud of this business. So it took me lots of months to realize and tell to myself, don't mind what other people are saying, as long as you have peace in your heart, and as long as in your heart you know that you're running the business with integrity. That's very important for me, running your business with integrity. And I think if you don't see yourself being able to achieve your goals through this business, people won't believe in you as well. So the moment that you believe in the business, you will notice your business will take off. And you will notice people will actually gravitate towards you, and they will be the one approaching you and asking you about the business. Right? So next, another mindset shift. dealing with confidence and self doubt. So this is one thing that that can make our business fail. I struggled with this a lot until now. Self confidence, self doubt, and I started the business with very little confidence on myself and my capabilities. So I really shied away from the spotlight. When I was in maybe elementary, I had a bad experience that made me that way. So I got embarrassed in a big crowd. So I was afraid of committing mistakes and being judged by people. So I was thinking, what if I say the wrong thing? Um, I I really feel sucked in public speaking, and I expected too much from myself to be perfect, which we cannot be anyway, right? So I must admit, this is still a constant battle, but I still have a lot to improve on. Yet I believe that I've grown so much through this business. And actually, through this business, I realized that what we say to ourselves, it really becomes a reality. So if you think like this, a speaking engagement you will mess up a speaking engagement, or you'll mess up a go live episode, you'll really mess it up. But if you think you'll be amazing, you will be amazing. Okay? And then just remind yourself, no one starts at level 100. So it really takes practice. It really takes action for you to be able to be confident. So what did I do? So I challenge myself. I take hosting roles in our team mastermind. I do that go live episode, and if I commit mistakes, so what? Right? People, maybe we are just too engrossed that people will judge us, but we don't what we don't realize is that they are also too busy in their lives to mind every mistakes that we do, the mistakes that we commit, right? So if you commit mistake, take note, you learn from it, you move on, and next time you will be less afraid and much better. You will be much better next time. All right, next would be comparison. So be honest, for you, those who are here, have you ever caught yourself comparing your progress to someone else's? Very common. When we see Dream Team page, we always see our celebrations, right? There are times when I compared myself to others, and sometimes we have to guard our minds because we have to be careful. This comparison can turn into envy, right? But the truth is, when we see people succeeding in the business, we don't see the full story. We don't see the hard work behind their success. So maybe it would be unfair for yourself to compare yourself in other situation. So it would be stressful on yourself, and then it's not to do it won't do you good if you compare yourself to others, because you might have a different situation from that person who are succeeding well in the business. So I learned to set my mind, so to shift my mindset. I learned to be genuinely happy for others, and then I use their success as motivation to push myself more. And then when I actually catch myself comparing, I remind myself there are a lot of blessings available. The blessings and grace of the Lord are abundant there. It won't run out. So there are a lot of blessings available for everyone. Right? So next, time and task management. So time and task management was also a challenge for me. I'm sure for everyone as well, because everyone has something going on in our lives, right? And I was doing a lot of things, and there were a lot of distractions in the business. So I'm doing something else side by side my business. So before, most often than not, I am doing the business and then doing something else, watching YouTube while working, or too many interruptions, or I can be working yet. I was wasting too much time on tasks that are not income generating. So I caught myself really just focusing on content creation. And I've seen this cycle in our team as well, because people are tiring themselves in content creation, thinking um that they've already given everything in their business, they're about to give up in the business. Oh, I'm very consistent in doing my content. They are very diligent and working, but what we don't realize, we are spending too much time on the things that we shouldn't focus our energy, all of our energy to. So, um, organic, and I always remind my team here is that organic engagement is good. Of course, we are taught in Dream Team, um, from some hind as well, organic reach are good. But I still believe in advertising. I'm a bit old-fashioned that way because, of course, social media platforms will prioritize those paying their platform, right? So, yes, content creation, content can be amazing, but if we don't have enough audience to see to see our content, who are we converting then, right? So what I did to become more productive, I became intentional with my time. So I use this Tide app, Tide, Tide, Tide app, and then I use the Pomodoro technique so that I get more productive. It's like a break work into you will break the work into 25 minute, 20 or 25-minute interval, work interval, and then followed by 5-minute break. So I use that, and then also, if you have kids here, you also manage the expectation of your kids. So I tell my daughter, oh, this is already mommy's business time. And then I give her other um activities to do that time. So she would understand. And I'm not sure if you see our page, you would see that our daughter are really supportive about our business. And then what else? I noticed myself having a lot of raw videos for my ads since 2021 or 2022, but I had no time editing the ad. So what I did is that I committed myself to spend at least 30 minutes a day editing ads so that I can move forward. Because it's very hard to say, oh, by next month I'll be able to launch my ad, but the daily actions are really important, so you have to schedule those important tasks. All right, so there. What else? People and emotional challenges. So for mentors here and Coach Nai, I think you would also relate to this, because although people they are our team are a source of learning and inspiration, it can be a challenge as well. So for me, I can tell that I care too much about my team, my downlines, and I really wanted them to succeed even more than I am. So sometimes I wanted to give them, if I have my let's say buyers or new business partner, I would say sana it was this business owner who got the buyer or the business owner, because I wanted him or her to be more inspired, at least that she is seeing results in the business. So it's really hard for me when one of my downlines would suddenly give up or quit, because connections and relationships for me are big. And when I have my business partner, I really don't just help them just to earn. It's a plus for me that I receive commission from from their effort, but I'm still a big believer that you earn from your effort. So if a downline is thriving in the business or growing in the business, it's them working. I cannot take that credit of helping them. So my thinking before, that's why it got this is a challenge for me, because I put the burden on myself. I brought them into the business, so I'm responsible for their success. I take that responsibility into heart until now. So um if you know, if you're a coach or a mentor, you would also feel that way. And you know what helped me overcome that? we invited Coach Franco in one of our coaches mastermind. So we also have a coach mastermind before, and he said, if you meet your mentee face to face, and if you know that you can look straight into their eyes without feeling guilty or ashamed, you know that you've already done your part. So you've already done enough. So you also just remind yourself, you also have your business to run. You cannot help those who don't want to help themselves. So for those of you here, I hope that you appreciate your mentors and coaches, because most of the time we don't see the burden in their hearts. Um, help them, help them, help them with your team, help them uplift each other in the team. Do your part, participate, take the initiative to help, propose projects or even collabs, and I'm sure they will be more than happy to accept your suggestions, your and receive your help. All right. So there. What else? Lastly, this is very important as well, realistic expectations. So maybe for those of you here, recall a recent situation where you got frustrated with your business or your business results. So recall nyo lang. So, and answer siguro, honestly, did you think you really put in the required effort to achieve that expected result? So sa akin, when I think of this, I always remind myself, don't be frustrated for the things that you didn't do. So don't expect a result from the effort that you didn't put in. So just to share with you, in the first 2, 3 months of my business, I was getting too impatient. I was already looking for results in the business, and I was expecting um big results, just like what I see everyone else in the dream team. And I compared my third month to those who are already 1 or 2 months or 2 years in the business. But these are all wrong expectations, right? So I cannot compare myself, my 3 month business to a business owner that's already 2 or 3 years in the business. And ask yourself, are you putting in 1 to 2 hours a day in the business? If yes, that's okay. We can do the business at our own pace. We can do it on our own time. But alongside this, be conscious of how many hours you spend in the business, because you also have to know that it won't make you 6A in 6 months, right? So knowing this would actually save you from unnecessary stress and pressure on yourself, right? Like for me, I mentioned earlier, after 5 years in the business, we got our 6A milestone. It was a long journey. I wish it could have been faster, but knowing I know my priorities, my family, my daughter, I'm also homeschooling. I'm a teacher, by day, and I'm also very conscious of my physical and mental health. So I easily get stressed and mentally drained, and it easily affect my physical health. So I really guard my mental health. So if I know that I'm already fed up already, break, pause. So I do that. I give myself I'm gracious to myself. And knowing this, I know the effort that I put it in the business, and I know what the result to expect. So I may not be the fastest in the business, but I know I've been consistent since the start, and I know that I'm in the right place, right? So there, maybe I'm not sure after hearing this, where do you resonate most with? So which one of you do you feel which one of this do you feel the need for you to work on right now? Right? So talagang it's mind battle here in the business, not just the pagod, right? And then just to end my business journey, I just want to share our business mantra. So where your energy goes, your energy flows. Keep your vision clear, your mindset positive, and your heart genuine. Success will follow when you lead with purpose and a desire to uplift others. And then, just a reminder for all of you, I made this a slide. This is a reminder that I hold on to when things get tough in the business. So, like a tree that stands through every season, your journey will have seasons too. So there will be seasons of waiting. It might be a long wait. There would be a season of growth and abundance, growth in mindset, learning, challenging yourself, and then there could be season of losing and letting go of people, right? There are times that you have to let go of people or your most beloved ad that you thought it was a winning ad, but it turns out not to be a winning ad. Or there's also a season of where it seems nothing is happening. But just like this tree, you don't stop growing, right? Even when it's not visible, you just stay grounded, stay anchored, keep showing up, and stand tall. Run your business with integrity and pride. So that's always what I highlight with in our team. And even if the season change, your commitment is something that you cannot control. And in time, you will eventually bloom. Right? So there. I'm not sure because in the interest of time, Shirley, do you want me to proceed to the Philippine market Philippine market sharing, or do you have questions first?
Um, yeah, I think we're okay with time, coach. I mean, it is your availability that we are, we we are willing to adjust. What
Okay.
shall we move on to questions now, Jane, or we can go to the PH market strategy that Coach Ayan is doing. I think we'll.
Yeah, I think the PH market strategy will really, really be helpful for everyone.
All
So then
right.
we could just leave the questions, or if you have questions already, write it down so we can be more efficient later on. But the PH strategy will be gonna be very helpful. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Okay. There, I prepared a small infographic, a short infographic for you guys. Just like what I mentioned earlier, my mentees are mostly from the Philippines, my direct business partners. But I have business partners here in the Philippines, in the Middle East. We also have people from Africa and different parts of Southeast Asia and Pacific, and we also have in US. So, just to give you a tip in ads, so it's always a non-negotiable. Budget is non-negotiable. I always remind my team it really takes money to earn money. So you really have to run ads. So what I can say here in the Philippines, malaki pa din yung opportunity. There are a lot of Pinoys living abroad like you, thriving in the business, yet there aren't many here in the Philippines yet. So if there are people, we don't have that big group yet. So I know that there's a big market and big opportunities still here in the Philippines. So I just want to share some of my ad strategies in the Philippines. So if you wanted to run ads here, or if you have leads here, if you have buyers here, so here are some of my ad strategies. So actually, I run mainly ads here in the Philippines. And if they sign up via our website, it's better because it means that if they signed up in our website, it means that they are already interested in the business. There's an effort compared to a message ad, because for a message ad, I don't use it so much for to get leads, unless if my ads are for awareness only, because it really eats up time for me replying to numerous messages. If you have time to reply to messages, go ahead. You can use the message ad because message ad here is cheaper. So I can run ads here. How much did I put here? For message ad, 250 to 300 pesos, I can run a message ad here. But for a conversion ad, at least 350 to 450 per day. So if you have smaller budget, you can use message ad, but be ready. I'm not exaggerating. Your hands will get numb. Your fingers will get numb replying to inquiries. So sometimes I just get how, and then I will reply. I will give the information, and then after that, no more. So ad conversion is big here, and this is where I get my results mostly. And then in terms of targeting, when I run ads outside the Philippines or in first world countries, I can do away with one layer targeting in Facebook. So now I actually run mainly on Facebook now, not in YouTube or Google anymore. So when I do my targeting outside the Philippines, usually it's one layer or two layers the most. But here in the Philippines, you really have to refine the targeting. Because if you don't refine the targeting, you will expect non quality leads. But just a word of caution, even if you have these three layers of targeting, you still expect non-quality leads. Okay, but not that much anymore. So when I target, the first level would be demographics. Let's say parents, mother, and then you can put your profession here. If you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, or for me, I worked in finance, so I put something about my profession in finance here. You can also put a life stage, like for example, parent of a toddler, things like that. And then for my second layer, I reserve this for interests and hobbies. So when you target your hobbies and interests, you have to incorporate those hobbies and interests in your ad creative and page content. So that, let's say for example, for me, I'm a dog mom. So I usually put here in my targeting dogs. And then my ad creative should have dogs in it. So any indicator of there's a dog. So if you are fond of plants, if you're a plantita, go ahead. Or you can also target those who are fond of traveling. And then third is, this is very important here in the Philippines, financial capability, because we have to put there any indicator that they want the business, and most of all, they can afford the business. So anything related to, let's say, business, brands, or sometimes I put luxury brands to indicate at least they are interested in those luxury brands. Okay, and then in terms of ad creatives, what worked for me here is both video and picture ads. So picture ads, there was a time, maybe recently, that it's still working, but now I try to do more of video ads. So in video ad here in the Philippines, mga Pilipino, we want the ano na makapagbagdamdamin. Tama ba yung Tagalog ko? Gusto nila may highlighting the pain point so that they can really connect, and Pinoy easily resonates with those ads highlighting pain point. 'Di ba? Maybe because of watching too much telenovelas before, mga ganon. So there. So later, if we still have time, I can show my previous winning ad just to give you an example. So if we still have time, and then another thing, general tips here in the Philippines, generate the audience and lead first, just like what I mentioned earlier. Drive traffic first on your page by running ads. And then patience is the key, and the name of the game here in the Philippines. And I want you to manage your expectations here in the Philippines, because even though you can run a low budget ad, you need to run your ads longer to get results. So for me, when I compare it, it's almost the same as advertising in first world countries. Because in first world countries, of course, um, um, s- uh, um, the leads are not that a lot compared here in the Philippines, but those are quality leads, right? And here, if you have an effective ad, be still be ready for to get non-quality leads and allot time to really chat and answer numerous inquiries here in the Philippines. So here, just to share with you my working ads here in the Philippines. When I say working ads, something that produces results. So leads here should be at least 20 to 30 leads per day. So it can even go up until 100 leads per day if your ads is effective. And then your lead per day should be lead cost per lead should be less than 30 pesos. And then click-through rate or CTR should be at least 5%. If it's not 5% in the first 3 days, I turn off my ad. And then before, this is really a change in Philippine market because before my lead to buyer ratio is 1 to 100, but time has really changed now because now I get one buyer from 300 to 400 leads. So it's really a lot. So if you realize you will be um replying to their messages one by one, right? So my ad budget, just like what I mentioned earlier, these are my ad budget. And then just to share with you my decision making when I run ads, if ad doesn't generate lead within 24 hours, I turn it off right away. And then if it generate ads, maybe 10 to 20, I would observe it for 3 days. And then if I'm not getting the result that I want, that 20 to 30 leads per day, I would turn it off. And then another thing, if my ads is running for weeks already, it's giving me more than 30 leads per day, but if it's not giving me results in 3 weeks, I already turn it off. So that's how I do my advertising here in the Philippines. And then I think Jane also asked me earlier to share how do I convert our leads to buyers. So here I convert my lead to buyers. It's challenging, yes, especially if your targeting is not refined. So many of them will message you looking for a job, and some asking for help or some asking for donations. I even had one business partner before. She got scammed because someone messaged her and then asking for help, and then she gave money sent through GCash, I think. And then after that, there are a lot of people texting her already asking for help. So just be cautious on that. And then how do I convert leads into buyers? I really get to know the lead and I find commonality with my leads. So I'm like a stalker. I check out their business page. Even with their first inquiry, I check their business page. I check if I have common friends because Philippines is just small. So most there are times that I get inquiries from people with common friends. So just find that commonality or things that you can talk about and then look for ways to build your trust. And then another thing that works for me, I ask questions. So I ask their why. So for example, the lead is already very engaged. I will ask after getting their name and email address, I would ask them, are you also a stay-at-home mom like me? So why did you check out the business? I am curious, why did you check out the business? So just to keep the connection going. And then also, if there's an engaged lead, I create content. Yung parang, how do you say it in English? Parang pataba post to them. Let's say, for example, I'm conversing with this lead. He said that, oh, she's getting frustrated because she wanted to work, but they cannot work. Her husband cannot doesn't allow him to work. So I make some patama posts on my page. So of course I don't mention their name. So what else? I send them the link to the invite if I have live episodes, especially if they would be able to connect with our topic. And then if it's really an engaged lead, I'm very selective. I add them in my personal Facebook. I send them friend invite, and if they have questions, I send them video messages. So not just type, video messages. I introduce myself. I answer their inquiries via video message. And if I think there's a need, I will ask them, I will offer them a video call, a small video call. So that because a lot of them are really afraid to be scammed and very doubtful. So they just have to see that you're a real person. That's for lead and buyer. For my buyer to distributor, um, what I do to convert, there's a high refund rate here in the Philippines because the reality is, um, Enagic is still a big investment money for most of the Filipinos. Though let's admit it, right? I used to get a lot of trifectas in my first few years in the business, and it has become one product, two products recently. So it's one of the concern, big investment money. And how do I try to convert them? I show them the possibility of their ROI. So when I do my coaching call with them, I show them numbers kasi mas maganda yung may nakikita silang numbers. So I tell them, if you get this trifecta, right? If you start with the trifecta, you only need to have two trifecta sales, and half of your investment is already covered. So that they will say, oh, they will realize the potential of the business. And then I also tell them there's a financing here in the Philippines. It's a big help for them, 0% financing. I rarely offer Tokuri and e-payment here in the Philippines because for us it's not good. But if I see that the buyer is really motivated and he or she seems not to quit the business easily, I offer the Tokuri and e-payment. And then another concern of Filipinos, why it's hard to convert them because of their concern in MLM businesses. 'Di ba? Allergic tayo sa MLM. Before nagkaroon yung nagsabi, ano ba 'yon? They say parang open-minded ka ba? So once you heard that word, it's very parang ayoko na daw, hindi ko to kakausapin tong friend na to kasi tinanong niya sa akin to. So people here are allergic to MLM. So I seldom use, I don't use, not seldom, I don't use the word MLM or even networking here in the Philippines on my page. And sometimes if I have buyers doubting about this business about being MLM, I don't answer them immediately. I find out their underlying concern. So why are they even hesitant about MLM? So we don't assume. I don't really assume um their situation. But the fact that they are engaging with you, they are asking you that if the business is MLM, that's a good indicator because they're checking out the business. So sometimes they just have the wrong understanding of the business. Maybe they think MLM is same as pyramid. So you explain the difference, you clarify. When maybe they are already scammed before. I have had buyers like that, and maybe they have a skeptical partner. So what I do if they have skeptical partner, I would ask them, oh, let's create a group chat with your partner so that if he has questions, I can also answer because I believe you won't be able to answer him as well because the business is not, you don't have still the full grasp of the business, right? So I had one buyer before that eventually became a business owner. They are couples, they're very allergic to MLM, and then I asked them, I didn't answer them immediately. about MLM because they were very, very concerned. I probed, I asked, why are they concerned about the business being MLM? And it turned out upon probing, they were leaders in church. So they were protecting their reputation. They had the impression that they need to take advantage of people just to get ahead in this business. So there, you just have to ask. So when you have those questions, you have to ask, you explain, and then when you answer them, answer their inquiry to appease them and to remove their doubts by truly understanding their concerns, not just yung general. I don't believe in general answers, especially when I answer inquiries, and as much as possible, I make it as personalized. Kumbaga. Alright? So there, I think that's it. I'm not sure if you have questions about handling contracts. I think it's already in my DT. The manager here, the name is Rachel, and then Teen for Marketing. If you have buyers here, and what else? Requirements is also in our My DT page. And just to highlight as well, business owners here in the Philippines, they have to register in BIR, at least BIR. And then some BIR offices would require them to register in DTI. So don't worry, Enagic will give them the requirements. BIR, it can be processed in one day. They just have to visit their respective revenue district office. And then DTI, it's just an online application. And then I would also, for people here in the Philippines, I think I also mentioned it in our business partners here that in the first few years, you can it's an option not to hire an accountant because it's a simple income tax return filing. But they have to attend the training in the respective BIR. And then when there are already income, I would suggest they hire their own accountant already because there are a lot of changes, changes in the rulings of the BIR. So it would be very convenient to hire an accountant. Okay. I think that's it. It's the 1 hour mark, but it's okay if you have any questions, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Coach Ayin, for that um, full pack of information.
1 hour, sorry.
No, no, it's actually a very nice presentation from your business journey and then up towards your the PH strategy. So it was full packed of information. Uh, so our floor now is open for questions, and I'll start. I'll start the Q&A. My first question is: you mentioned that in the Philippines, since is it all of your most of your distributors are from the Philippines, isn't it? Most of them are getting the ukon, and you said that
Mm.
the it somehow took a toll on your business. How did it affect your business?
So it's there in the last stretch of my business journey from 5A to 6A. So it took me more than 100, it took me 126 sales for me to be able to reach a 300K sales volume. So it's hard if you are all only getting ukon after ukon after ukon. So it's hard, but it's the reality of the Philippines, and I cannot take my ads away from the Philippines because I think this is my market. So I tried stopping my ads here in the Philippines because I thought I'm getting too tired. There are a lot of waiting time, but still I get results here. So I still run my ads here, and of course I also run some ads outside the Philippines.
Okay, and my follow-up question would be, since
Mm.
it's very evident that you are really successful in the business while being in the Philippines, was it hard converting Filipinos abroad to to join you, that you are based in the Philippines rather than you are based abroad, if you are targeting like first world countries?
I think there's a bearing as well where I am based from, but I already have business partners from it doesn't stop me from advertising in other countries because I had business partners already in Middle East. Also, I have business partners in Singapore, in Thailand. I also have business partners from Africa. So they are also working in the Middle East. So um, even though I'm here in the Philippines, it doesn't stop me to get business partners from other countries. I'm sure there's a bearing because some of the my inquiries would ask, where are you based from? And then they would check, oh, you're 8 hours away from me, you're 12 hours away from me. So, but I think it's not a showstopper for me to progress in the business. I still get buyers and some business partners from outside the Philippines, but our main here still in the Philippines.
Thank you so much. Oh, last question for me from me. So are this your business distributors that are outside the Philippines, are these Filipinos as well, or are these local like in Thailand and Middle East, or like locals in the US, like white Americans, or also Filipinos that are residing there?
No, there are non-Filipinos. So don't be afraid to target non-Filipinos because you wouldn't know. Like for in the Middle East, I don't just target Filipinos. I target English speaking. So my target is English all in Facebook. So I would get inquiries from non-Filipinos as well. So I have business partner them there from Fiji, from Rwanda, what else? Rwanda. I forgot the another one, Zimbabwe. So I also have Thai business partners. And I also have also but mostly Filipinos. Mm-mm.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm.
Anyone who wants to ask a question, just raise your hand. I'm sure we have a lot.
Hi, Shern. Hi, Coach. I think
Hello.
Catherine in the chat wanted to see your winning ad, if that's all
Ay,
right.
sure. Okay, sure. This was prior the Reels era. So just to give you how yung makapagdamdamin na post
Ma-
or videos or ad. So just to give, it's a 4 minute video. It's still in landscape. So wala pang Reels nun. So here, let me know if you can hear. Can you hear? No? Oh,
There's no audio
um,
at the moment, Coach.
oh, how can I share? Ah, wait. Unshare again. Stop share.
And Steph wants to ask a question next.
Share sound. Alright. Okay, let's try this again.
Are you a stay-at-home mom looking for
Better?
ways to help your husband in the finances? Or maybe a working mom constantly in situations wherein you have to choose between your family and career? Yes? I have a solution for you. Hi, I'm Ayin. I'm a stay-at-home mom and digital entrepreneur. This is my husband Yar and our precious little daughter. Let me show you how owning a digital business became the solution to our family's needs.
Before being a stay-at-home mom, I worked in the corporate setting for 11 years. Having worked in finance, I've been through and endured never-ending impending deadlines, long stressful hours, weekend work. There was no work-life balance at all. I found myself constantly in situations wherein I had to choose between work and family. Yes, like you, I've been there. I lost my mom to cancer. I was torn between keeping my job and my desire to be with my mom in her remaining days. I regret choosing to go to work the day my mom needed me most. regrets from the wrong choices and priorities, not because I didn't have a choice, but because I needed to hold on to a job which was my only income source, and responsibilities and people at work that can't just be left behind. When you experience death in the family, your perspective changes. You'll value what's really important, and that's our relationship and time spent with our loved ones.
I don't want to repeat the same mistakes again. That's why, when I had my own family, I decided to leave my well-paying corporate career to be a stay-at-home mom while my husband solely earns for the family. In that way, one of us will be focused and physically present, tending to our daughter's needs.
I love being a wife and a stay-at-home mom. I get to spend every day with my daughter and watch her grow up right before my eyes. Being a hands-on mom gives me a different sense of fulfillment. But coming from the corporate world, imagine my desire to contribute to the family's resources when I became a homemaker. Although Yar provides beyond our wants and needs, I feared that we don't have a backup plan if ever something happens to him or his job. That's why I looked for income opportunities online. Thankfully, we came across a digital business and decided to own one in 2019. It's 100% legitimate. Our business is government registered, profitable, it provides us with additional income sources, flexible and mobile. It can easily be run at home or anywhere while taking care of my daughter. It runs in an automated system with minimal supervision so it doesn't take away time from our family. Plug and play. I was able to set up the business in just 2 weeks, even with an infant on my arm. Our digital business has brought tremendous blessings to my family, and since then, we never looked back.
The business is easy to manage and flexible. In fact, I'm able to prioritize my family's needs. So I get to be a mom and wife first. So there's no more conflict in prioritizing my family's needs.
She helped me in our family's finances. She earns more than what she's earning in the corporate, and she's able to pay for our kids' education. Happy wife, happy life!
Yay! If you want the same setup for your families, I'm here to help. I'll guide you in building your own family-friendly digital business. Do click the button below so that I can send you more information about the business. Remember, you shouldn't be choosing between your family and career because our families should always come first. Bye! Are you a stay-at-home mom looking for
There.
No
I
wonder
thought
it's being ad.
it's quite long, but my video ads now, it's still patterned to that story ad pattern. The pain point, introduction, hook, and then pain point, and then the benefits, and then the call to action.
Thank you for sharing that, Coach.
Mm-mm.
And we can totally see why it was a winning ad.
It was too long.
At that time, I think it was still very effective, isn't it? But how about now? Do you
Mm-mm.
think long
I
videos do work now? Not anymore.
No more. I don't use long videos anymore. I am running a similar ad like this, maybe around 2 minutes.
Mm.
So same concept, but no more 4 minute. This was way before, and then I got maybe until mid 4A with this winning ad. Mm-mm.
Hi,
So,
Sharon. Hi,
yes,
sorry. Coach,
go
I think, are we okay to take a photo first so that
continue.
before we go on to, because I know, Coach Ayin, you said you wanted to keep it to an hour. So sorry. I
Yeah,
know
it's okay.
we've
No
been,
worries.
so we
Take a
want to
picture.
make sure that, can you take it, Sharon? Because I'm on my phone, please. Thank you.
Yes. Everyone, if you can show your beautiful faces before Jane goes on live.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone smile. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. And maybe a quick video. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, done.
Yes. Thank you so much. Before I
Thank
go,
you.
I just want to say thank you to Coach Ayin. That was a really very full, packed, inspiring, and you gave a very real view of how it is to run this business, because I know we can get overwhelmed with all the results that people are getting, the leaders and
Mhm.
stuff like that, people jumping to 6A after 3 months, and it was
Mhm.
really nice to hear, to bring our expectations to the right amount of level. And I think you did that, and you gave us so much inspiration to just keep on going. And I was already sure that you were gonna inspire a lot of us today. But thank you so much for sharing your time, sharing your story, and also the tips and the strategies that you did for PH ads, and for PH leads and buyers as well. So on behalf of everyone, I really wanna thank you. We appreciate your time and your presence here. And I'm gonna give it to Shirley for the Q&A. Yeah, just I'm not sure how long you can stay, but again, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Jean,
you. Thank you for the
for
invite.
inviting Coach Ayin in the first place. Just reading the Coach, are you still okay to continue with the Q&A? Do
Maybe
you still
5 minutes more.
5 minutes more? Okay. We'll
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, so Steph on the chat box said that she can relate with the Ukon distributors because I'm Ukon too. And Steph, I know Steph had Steph wanted to ask a question actually. Go ahead, Steph.
Hello, Coach Ayin. Thank you so much
Hello,
for being here
Steph.
today. We're so inspired by your story, actually. And yeah, I just have a question because I have a lot of buyers, and I have several distributors from Philippines as well and Singapore.
Mhm.
I just wanted to ask, do you get like tax rebates as well in Philippines for the
Here, actually, it depends on the. I'm not an accountant. I was in finance, but I'm not an accountant, so they don't take it from me literally. But here in the Philippines, you can actually apply different types of tax. So for me, I apply for 8% tax. So 8% because it's more of ease of filing, because I don't want to file for expenses expenses, and the income is not that big yet. So maybe um you can your business partner can ask your RDO here or an accountant, because there's a certain type of tax here where you can file your expenses and then get your do you call it tax refund? But for me, I apply for 8%, so it's an outright 8% deduction for my income tax. More if it's more than 250,000, there's a cap of 250,000. If you earn below 250,000, you will not be taxed. And then if it's more than 250, you'll be taxed by 8%. So that's for my tax type. So I think it's possible to apply with another tax type, but they have to check with an accountant as well if they can also file their expenses.
because
Mm-mm.
the commission already, Coach, is gonna be deducted with an automatic tax already, isn't it? So do you pay like another 8% on top of that if you exceed 250,000?
What I do, I give them this paper every year wherein they won't charge me actually they do Enagic charge 10%. So it's more than the required percentage of BIR. So for my BIR, it's 8% they charge me. But here I pass this. I can send you a paper wherein the Philippine business owner can send to Enagic, have it notarized, and then it's saying that Enagic won't tax your income if it's not yet more than 250,000.
Okay.
Yes. So I can share you that file. And then I think I send that before the year ends, every December. So that come next year they won't tax you yet.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. Yes,
Mm-mm.
yes. you can send it to us. That would be really helpful. One more thing. So you mean you don't employ an accountant to do all these things for you? Do you do it by yourself, or just in case, can you recommend an accountant who knows how to do the business, all that, if that's
Yes.
possible?
Actually, from my first year until last year, I was doing it by myself because it's actually simple. If you ask the BIR, BIRRDO, they conduct trainings for new business owners for small business owners. And then if your BIRRDO is helpful, they will really teach you how. And apart from that, and this is not recommended, I search in YouTube. So that's how I survived from first year to last year. And apart from that, I also have finance background. So I have the knowledge of the debits and credits. So I know how to track. But I found it really taxing already because for filing every quarter, it takes me 2 weeks to do my BIR filing, my preparation. So last year, I decided to hire an accountant already. So I can give you I think I gave it also to Lori. So the tax accountant. So I can give it to you. So two things, tax accountant, and then that paper.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Can we add you on Facebook, Coach? At least I can ask you about it and you can send it.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you
So
so
I'll just
much.
write it down. I might forget. I'm forgetful.
You can send it to our group chat, Coach Ayin, and then we'll send it to our big team
Okay.
chat. The
Okay.
floor, and then the accountant, is it?
Mm-mm.
Accountant, yes. Anyone else who has a question to Coach Ayin before we let her go? This is our chance. Let's grab it.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about PH Market, you can just message me in Facebook,
Yes,
or sometimes I
Coach.
miss messages from Flock. So you can just add me in Facebook.
Thanks, Coach. It's a very fresh perspective that we have someone to ask for like an expert in the Philippine market when it comes to our business. So now
Mm-mm.
we have a resource person now. Perfect. Thank you so much. Anyone else who has a question? I think I don't see any more in the chat box. So is the I think should we let her go now? It's already 20 past, right? Yeah, I think no takers. Okay, I think yes, on behalf of our team, Coach Ayin, thank you so much for gracing in our team huddle today. Thank you so much for sparing an hour and 20 minutes of your Sunday. We appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. And to Jane, thank you for inviting and finding Coach Ayin from from our big dream team world, and you're able to find her. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for accommodating, for giving us the all the infos. It's been really helpful, and yeah, and thank you for being such an inspiration when knowing your journey. That it's not just always ups. There's also gonna be downs and a bit of slow season. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank
Thank you,
you. Thank
everyone.
you
Thank you,
so
everyone, for the
much.
invite.
Yes, thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.